Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with Put a Ring on It, y'all. Y'all done came back. Hopefully we gonna get through this season without any scandals. But honey, it wouldn't be a good season if it wasn't scandalous. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into this season, honey. When the episode first opens up, Dr. Ponytail is back. More riddles and whatnot. So, child, let's get into it, and we're going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, the couples come in to meet Dr. Nicole for the first time and looking nervous as hell. And she tells them that they're here to finally decide if it's time to go their separate ways or put a ring on it. Okay, Dr. Nicole. So the first couple we're introduced to is Alfonso and Shay. They've been dating for 3 years, and he said they love each other, but they need to see if this is the end all be all. And baby, she looked at him so crazy. Like, we need to see. And boy, don't play. He said, they fell in love when she fell into his DMs. She said, no, that's not how it happened, sir. I liked one of your pictures and then you hit me with a DM saying, hello, beautiful. How are you? See, this is why I literally will scroll right past the picture because I don't want the DM afterwards. I don't want it. It's like when you like a man's picture, automatically that's an invitation for them to speak to you. I'm not interested, honey, at all. She said her favorite thing about him is that he's fun. He said that, she's down for him. He's dated a lot of women, but she's the first one that he felt like he could end his life with. I think he meant start his life with. Charlie's giving a fool. Alfonso tells us that they were engaged, but then they called it off. He took the ring back and whatnot. And she said for her, the relationship became questionable. Girl, that's when it became questionable. Because after watching this episode, honey, it was some questions that needed to be asked all the way up and through from the very beginning. She said his mom is the matriarch of the family and she wants to be accepted by his mom. She really wants to get close to her. Oh, okay, so the mama don't like you. Got it. Moving forward. She said their relationship is at a standstill because he's torn between his mom and her. That's going to be a tough one, honey. He going to have to set boundaries with his mom or it's not going to work. Mom, this is the woman that I love. This is the woman that I'm going to marry. If y'all are not in a toxic relationship, then I don't understand what's happening. But sometimes the mamas, honey, be treating the sons like they're their men. So that could be going on. Child, I just don't know. But we'll get into it as we get into it. Then we meet Charlena and Otis. And she tells us that they met in Miami. And he said his cousin met her first. But he wasn't hitting on nothing. So he took over. So Dr. Nicole gonna say, okay, I see you. I said, not Dr. Nicole, honey. She said her first impression of him were his white teeth. Okay, smiles are important, honey. Nobody wants a yuck mouth. And he's really affectionate and easy on the eyes. He is a handsome gentleman. So then he says that he admired her strength. Pause. Why is it always about our capability to endure some foolishness? I don't want to be strong all the time, honey. Sometimes we don't want to be strong. When my mate comes along, which he ain't came along yet, I want that person to allow me to be the one that doesn't have to carry the heavy burdens all the time. I want somebody that's going to take the weight off of me. Not somebody that loves the fact that I'm strong. Ugh. I want to be supportive, honey. Not hold everybody else up. And child, he getting ready to put her through the ringer because he knows she's strong because that's how they like to do. He said her strength also comes across as stubbornness. Yeah, because she's not letting you control her. That's what it is. She was like, I want to marry him, but our communication sucks. And she doesn't feel like she's being heard. She says he's dismissive. He comes across harsh. He's a jerk. Okay. Just from this little bit of an introduction, I can already tell he's a jerk. He said he's very traditional. For him to propose, he would need for her to be a little softer and understand her role when it comes to how they need to move together and let him lead them where they need to go. Men don't understand that women have to feel safe in order for you to guide them. I am not about to be following behind you and I don't feel like you're capable of leading me. Like, we want to know if we fall, you gonna catch us. We want to know that you have your things in order first. Honey, I'm not just going to be blind leading the blind. Absolutely not. He is giving me caveman. He really is. So then Dr. Nicole asked what's happening now, in their relationship. And she said that she wants to be heard. Like, he dismisses everything that she says. And he said he feels like they speak a different language. He says that he'll say something and she hears something totally different. Okay. Moving forward. So he wants her to be strong, but not when it comes to him. That's what I'm hearing. Like, you can be strong, honey. Be strong out in them streets. But when you come here, I'm going to need you to follow behind me and fall at my feet. I run this in here. That's what it's giving me. So then we meet Kenneth and Shorty. They met at a Young Thug concert. Okay, shout out to Young Thug. And he said, I was like, ooh, I got to get to know her, you heard me? Okay, Louisiana. Child, that accent just jumped out of nowhere. I was not expecting that to come out of his mouth. She said, at the moment, he's not her definition of husband material. Like, he's fun, but she needs him to step up financially because she does not want to be carrying all the financial burdens and all of that be on her. Oh, okay, so juvenile don't work. Juvie, we gonna need you to bring in some coinage, okay? And take the weight off of Shorty. Shorty doo-wop. Oh, no, ma'am, honey. We are not in college. I'm gonna need you to be financially responsible, child. Now, it's different when we both in college and we both struggling, but we two grown people and you talking about I gotta carry all the burden. Child, I wouldn't even be bothered with him. Why y'all here? Like, marriage should be the last thing y'all worried about. So he says he calls himself her husband all the time. This is what he said in the little confessional. He's like, I call myself her husband all the time, but she lets it be known that I'm a boyfriend and sometimes I'm a roommate depending on how mad she get. Not a roommate. See, this is the problem she having right here. Because if she's calling you her roommate, that means y'all going half and half. She looks and seems older than him, though. When I'm seeing the two of them next to each other, it's something about her that reads older. Like, even though she's petite, he seems kind of childish. That's what it's giving me. So he was like, yeah, she's a tyrant. Dr. Nicole asks what she's getting mad about. She trying to raise him, Dr. Nicole. That's what she getting mad about. K. Michelle told us you can't raise a man. He already grown. What you gonna do? Like, K. Michelle told us. Child, in the words of K. Michelle. She said every time she tries to talk about serious things, he don't want to talk about them. Moving forward. He's like, man, don't act like I'm not here. You heard me. Don't act like I'm not your biggest fan. She doesn't need a fan club, sir. She needs a man that can be a leader and a husband. Like, it's all good for you to take my Instagram pictures at the right angles and whatnot and give me the zhuzh that I should be giving before I post. But I'm going to need you to help me in the real world. Instagram land ain't real. So Dr. Nicole said, it's okay. Like, she has the right to share her concerns and how she's feeling. Because, baby, he piped up so good. Dr. Nicole said, okay. So she sees that all the couples have different expectations and they're not on the same page. To get different results, they have to do something different. So to help them figure out once and for all if they should marry, they will date other people. That makes absolutely every season when I hear that, I'm always like, that don't make no damn sense. So I'm already falling apart at the seams with you over here. Then I'm going to throw a complete innocent bystander into the mix, have them engaged in our baggage and our mess, and then decide which one of y'all I want. Okay. Making absolutely no sense, child. But anywho, that's the premise of the show. So Shay gonna say, ooh, I don't like that. Shay. Now I know you've seen this show before. I know you have. So girl, what you mean you don't like that? That's the reason why you came on here. So Kenneth gonna say, I know what I'm coming with, so let her go. All right, she gonna find somebody without a prepaid debit card, Kenneth. Okay? He seems nice, but he seemed like he play all day. Like, I'm all for laughing and joking and having a good time together, but I don't want you to play all day every day. She seems more focused and serious than he does. So Dr. Nicole tells them that this will help them make their decision with confidence. So she tells them that starting today and starting with the women, they're going to go out on their first dates. She said one of the men may be somebody that they know and he's done work on himself and he's now single and he's looking for a healthy relationship. Child, Hollywood is far from single, but I'm going to let y'all play in my face. Moving forward. At the house, Shay is getting all dolled up, honey, curling her wig and whatnot. Okay, girl. She getting ready for the date. And she was like, it's just weird getting ready for a date with somebody other than Alfonso. Meanwhile, Alfonso is like, oh, I'm not tripping. His name is Brian. Like, I ain't worried about no dude named Brian. All right, Alfonso Ribeiro. Giving very much Carlton from Fresh Prince, honey. Don't let the name fool you. So then we meet Brian and his ankles. He's 33 from Detroit, Michigan. He says he puts a lot into himself and he presents it that way. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. Honey, take it or leave it. So Alfonso opens the door, right? Talking about, how you doing there, little fella? Oh, child, it's the disrespect for me. He said, looking at his swag, yeah, I don't think he gonna be her type. Why? Because he's not wearing a piece of chain around his neck? Like, what exactly is the swag that you're looking for? Because he looks put together to me. No, I don't like the ankles out, but y'all know how I feel about ankles, honey. That's neither here nor there. But, I mean, I think he looks put together. But maybe that's just me. So then he gonna call for Shay. Talking about, Shay, Lil Brian waiting on you. Boy, not Lil Brian. So she comes on down looking cute and casual, not doing too much. I like that. It's like you giving, but you ain't really just giving. So she said when she saw Alfonso get a little antsy, she was like, oh, that means he cares. Shay, absolutely not. He a man, baby. They're territorial. He don't want nobody dipping off in his cookie jar, honey. He don't want nobody playing with his toys. It has nothing to do with that. Jealousy does not equal caring, honey, and caring don't equal sharing. Child, this is a whole fool. In the next scene, Shorty is getting ready for her date, and she says she's nervous because she hasn't been on a date in a while. So then Hollywood rolls up on the scene. Hey, Hollywood. So Kenneth opens the door. Child, they probably both know each other. He from Louisiana, too. So Kenneth was like, what's happening, fam? I'm a fan. He's like, you from NO? He said, no, I'm from Baton Rouge. Okay. This is too much. So then Hollywood comes in and brings her some flowers. She was like, yeah, I watched season 1 and he is definitely my type. So, I mean, I'm glad I'm going out with him because it doesn't feel like I'm going out with a stranger. Child, Hollywood came in talking, but Kenneth basically was fanning out. So, honey, he didn't care. He was just happy to see Hollywood, child. Moving forward. On. I want to know, when was this filmed? Hollywood been in a committed relationship for some time and he lives in that H. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out when this was filmed. Honey, y'all starting already. In the next scene, Shay and Brian get to spin art, and I thought that was such a cute date. And, you know, they're flirting a little bit, getting their art on, and he tells her that he plays piano. She's like, oh, okay, little Mozart. He said, no, big Mozart. Y'all gonna stop playing with me with that little. I know that's right. She said, well, you know what? I like Brian. He's actually very funny, and I love a man that tickles my insides. All right, now, Alfonso don't want him touching your insides, Shay. He don't want that. He does have a fun personality, though. He really does. In the next scene, Hollywood and Shorty, they make it to pottery class. They're making clay pottery, and she tells him that she's a radio personality, and they call her Shorty Mac. He was like, oh, I probably heard you on the radio before. In Houston, Hollywood quit playing with me. So he asked her what kind of man she likes, and child, clearly one with a Louisiana accent. Hollywood is trying to make this pottery, and he's like, I can't get my thing to rise up. Okay, so they both being nasty and whatnot, because y'all know it would not be an own production without it. So then she asked what happened between him and Ashley. She was like, last time I saw you on the show, you were getting engaged. So what happened between y'all? He said, you know, the experience showed him that he was selfish, and it opened him up to a lot. And he said it also taught me that you don't have to be with somebody if they don't make you happy. Like, they can still make you laugh and smile, but if it ain't there, then it just ain't there. I appreciate that, because it's really frightening to start over. And some people will stay in something just for the sake of being in something. So the fact that he saw that and he got out and moved on, I commend that. In the next scene, Kenneth is at home, child, drinking Modelo, talking about how she just gonna go out with somebody from my state. He trying to be all cool, acting like it don't bother him. You did everything but Uber drive them to the date. You acted like you didn't care she was going, so she went. Meanwhile, back with Hollywood and Shorty, Hollywood said, you know, he wouldn't mind going on another date with Shorty. She cool people. Hollywood were friends on a date in a minute, won't he? Y'all remember on season 1, baby, everybody Hollywood went out with. She cool people. We could be friends, you heard me? Oh, Lord. Hollywood, you are out as a dater. Boy, if you don't date, and y'all know what I noticed? I don't love them a Louisiana accent. Joelle. Shout out to Vernisha. Joelle from Ready to Love, Hollywood, and now we back again with Kenneth. Baby, they love them some Louisiana roots, don't you hear me? Then Hollywood told her she can get anything out of there to commemorate their date, and she picked out this little necklace from the pottery place, and he told her, just throw it in the bag. I know that's right, y'all. She said, I think Kenneth's gonna be mad because I got something to remember this date by. Girl, Kenneth ain't gonna care about that, but he gonna act like he does. Moving forward. That was very sweet of Hollywood, though. It really was sweet. In the next scene, Shay and Brian, they go grab a bite to eat, and she's telling him that she was expecting a big buff Denzel to sweep her off her feet. She was like, yeah, and then you showed up. So, you know, they like laughing and playing or whatever. Ladies do love them some Denzel, but he's not big or buff, Shay. I do love the banter between these two. They have good chemistry, and you can tell, but Shay seems like a girl that gets along with people. So it's like you put her in a setting, and she gonna get along with you until she don't. That's what it's giving me. So he asked what she's missing in the relationship, and she said one of the biggest issues is him not wanting to move forward in the direction that she wants to. And that family is everything to her, and that's one of their major issues. So he said family for him is very important as well. His dad is a pastor, so he has that foundation. And she said just talking to Brian just shows that somebody out there will get me. Like, they understand what I am talking about, and she feels like there's other options. Brian is all right with me. Y'all know what? Shay kind of reminds me of Just Brittany. When she smiles, that's who she reminds me of. Not like they look just alike, but they resemble each other. And if you're from Houston, then you know who Just Brittany is. If you don't, child, she was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. If you don't know her from there, child, just get on the Googler. Moving forward. These two having a little cute date, feeding each other and whatnot. Okay, it's giving. I like that date. So then we go to Charlana. Baby, we go to Charlana and old Otis. Shout out to Martin. Child, not old Otis. So he in there telling her he gonna go on a date with her. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Child, I couldn't resist. I could not resist the fact that this man's name is Otis, honey. Oh, I couldn't resist. So he said he's concerned, about her going on a date, and he gonna tell her, I put a tracker on your phone. And I bet he ain't playing either. Something about him I don't trust, child. So then we meet Meta. He's 33 years old. He's from Namibia, South Africa. He said that he's unintentionally taken someone's girlfriend before, but it's happened to him, and I mean, that's just the way the game goes. Oh, okay, Meta. So then Otis opens the door. He's like, hi, I'm Meta. He's like, Meta? Otis, I know you ain't clowning nobody's name, honey. You were given an old mechanic's name at birth. Okay, I'm not about to look at no baby and be like, look at little Otis. It's giving old man. Child with a whole bunch of keys on his key ring. So I know you ain't making fun of nobody's name. Don't do that. He said, Meta is tiny. He needs to eat his Wheaties. Leave Meta alone. He is a nice guy. So Meta inside, he being so polite. He's like, you guys have a lovely home. He's really being mature about the situation, unlike old Otis. So Otis is asking if he plays soccer, and he's like, yeah, but now I'm a coach. And she told him that she was a tennis coach. Okay, athleticism. That's already something y'all got in common. And Otis is being all extra. He's a jerk, to be honest. He just really is. He's an ass. Okay, that's just what I'm getting from him. So on that note, they head out on their soccer date. O seems like he might be a little controlling. When he made that joke about putting a tracker on her phone, like, how you can just distinguish the difference between somebody just joking and somebody that is capable of tracking your phone? Girl, you better check for air tags or Apple tags or whatever them tags called that people be putting on other people's cars. Girl, look on the TikTok. They'll tell you. Moving forward. On the way to the date, Meta and Charlana are talking about her relationship. And she said that Otis is very traditional because he's from the South. Not all men from the South behave like Otis, okay? Look at Elijah over there on Married at First Sight. He's from Boston. Don't try to put that off on all Southern men, honey. Otis just got a problem. She's like, yeah, and I'm from L.A. She said, he believes in gender roles. So basically, you're with the caveman. He wants his woman with no voice, barefoot and pregnant. And that's what I'm getting. So they get to the arena, and he's asking her about herself, and he has a very welcoming spirit. Like, something about him just seems very familiar and very safe. So they're talking, and he asks what she's looking for in a man, and she said, I'm looking for a friend, not someone that's going to tell me what to do. He said, oh, okay, well, you don't seem like the person to take that anyway. She was like, I'm not. So then she asked if he was traditional. He said he was raised that way, but he's not. He views women as his partner or somebody that's better than him, like that brings things that he can't bring to the table. So in her confessional, she said, I really like Meta. I see these two being friends, nothing romantic. He seems like the type to be a very good friend and somebody that you can vent to, but I don't see romantic interest. So he gave her some flowers, and she said, normally I wouldn't take flowers from a man, but he's just so nice. He does seem like a nice guy. Back over here with Shorty and Kenneth. She's back home, and he's making her a meal and whatnot, or he unpacked the meal from the to-go boxes, child, either way. And she's like, I'm worried about him being so confident. He needs to know that other men will pursue me. They messed it up by sending you Hollywood. They should have sent you a guy that we've never seen before, because when he saw Hollywood, he didn't really take it seriously. Like, why would y'all bring Hollywood back? And everything's playing out all over Instagram. I don't get it together. So Kenneth is talking to her, right? He was like, y'all wasn't reenacting that scene from the movie Ghost, were you? So, she started laughing or whatever. Child, they wasn't hitting on nothing. Hollywood, everybody homeboy. And that's that on that. She said the date had her, just thinking. He did buy me a necklace. He really did show out on this date. Baby, she is really trying to get a rise out of this man. So she showed him the necklace, child. He snatched it and threw it. Told her it was going to be down Peachtree. And I'm like, okay, this is a whole fool. She's like, you know what? That is so immature. That's immature. And so is this little game that you playing right here. He said, nah, soldier, I ain't tripping. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I love me a Louisiana accent. When I tell y'all I love it, oh, I love it. So he trying to figure out if she means what she's saying or if she just trying to make him jealous. Child, she just trying to make you jealous. All this still not gonna make him financially responsible, shorty. And what is your real name? Girl talking about he immature, but you going around calling yourself shorty. Anyway, she was like in her confessional, his confidence is built on quicksand. And this shows me that he has a lot of work to do. And I don't know if I want to settle. I need to make sure that I'm getting the best version of him. But I'm wondering, is this the best version of him? She might get on my nerves. I'm starting to think maybe she might get on my nerves, child. You set all this up to get this reaction and then turned it around once he gave you what you were looking for. Girl gone. Moving forward. So then she asked him if he wanted her to be happy just to be happy or if she could only be happy with him. He said, why are you asking me that? We gonna be together, right? Oh, okay, honey. He looked a little crazy right there. Girl, you better quit playing. Back over with Charlana, honey. She gets home with her flowers. Otis threw them right in the trash. Do y'all hear me? Honey threw them straight in the trash. He was not feeling that. So then he starts asking about the date, right? So he's asking about hugs and whatnot. He was like, did he try to give you a hug when he gave you those flowers? She was like, yeah, he kind of leaned in for a hug a little bit. So baby, then he really got pissed. And when he was getting upset, y'all, I was looking at her face and she legit looked nervous about his reaction. Like she really did look nervous. She's like, you need to calm down. Like, I don't care if you hug someone. Like, please stop this. You're being extra. He's like, nah, this is calm. Whole time he drinking some red wine, right? Baby, the way he drinking this wine and looking, I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. He's like, why didn't you tell him to keep the flowers? Now, why would she do that? Why would she be rude to him? That don't make no sense. So she sees this salmon out, right? And she was like, are you about to put this in the oven? He said, yeah, it's dinner for one. His aura is all wrong to me. Like, do y'all see what I'm seeing? Something is wrong with him. He's like, y'all ate, right? She said, no. And she didn't eat because when she came in, she told you she was starving. She said, we did not eat. He's like, nah, I'm going to make one for me. If this man puts one chicken breast in this oven, I am done. He's like, I'm making one slab. She said, okay, well then I'll just warm up these leftovers. So then he gonna say in his confessional that she disrespected him with the flowers, so Meta should have brought her some food as well. He said, this is not a game. So then he looks at her, y'all, okay? He looks at her and he goes, you look dirty. You might want to go take a shower. Oh, hell no. He might be abusive. Allegedly, honey. I want to make sure I say allegedly. Girl, you better run because this man right here ain't it. I don't care how you looking. I don't care how tall you standing. I don't care what you can provide for you to look at someone you're supposedly in love with and say to them, you look dirty. You might want to go take a shower. And she was like, don't talk to me like that. She was like, that's not nice. He said, neither is bringing home flowers. Oh, okay. So he's verbally abusive and emotionally abusive, and he's trying to teach her a lesson. She can't eat. He's calling her names. So basically, he's trying to control her behavior by mistreating her. She said, if you want to talk about it, we can, but don't talk to me like that. He said, you brought this on yourself. Baby. So he's checking on the salmon that he gonna eat all by himself. So they arguing back and forth and back. So then they sit down to eat and she's over there crying over her leftovers while he's eating what he cooked for him. I'm not about to watch this lady be abused all season now. Because let me tell you something, that's a huge trigger for me. Now, I don't know who this man is and I do not know why he's treating her this way. But let me say something to you, Charlene. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I don't know you, but we're going to get to know each other through these reviews. And I hope that you are not letting old Otis mistreat you. Absolutely not. Charlene, this is not normal or respectful behavior. You don't deserve that. Okay, you don't deserve someone calling you dirty and telling you to go take a bath and telling you you can't eat the food that he's cooking. Withholding food because you angry. So she's crying and you're eating. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, child, I can't wait to see what's going to happen this season. In the next scene, the couples go to visit Dr. Nicole. So she's like, welcome back. I want to hear everything that happened on your dates. So first up is Shay. So she talked about them both having big families and how it was a trigger because she didn't want to have a connection with his family. She wants to have a connection with Alfonso's family. So Dr. Nicole said, well, does she know your family? And he said, yeah. So Shay said, no, I've only met his mom once and we've been together for 3 years. How is his relationship with his mom is what I wanted to know when she said that, right? So then Dr. Nicole said, well, was it an intentional meeting? She said, no, it wasn't. He went to go drop off his son, left me sitting in the car for over 15 minutes. So after 15 minutes, I felt like I should go inside. So when I went inside, his mom acted like she saw a ghost, basically, and was like, oh, I didn't expect to see you. So she said, I'm Shay. And she said Alfonso didn't say nothing. Oh, okay. So not only were you waiting in the car like a side chick or somebody he's embarrassed by, he's basically hiding you out in the open. Either that, he's ashamed of you, or he doesn't take you seriously, or he's still messing with that ex, or something else is going on. So Dr. Nicole said, well, is this how you remember it, Alfonso? He gonna say, nah, I don't remember it like that. She said, okay, so when are you going to introduce me to your mom? Like, when are you going to sit down and introduce me to your mom? So he gonna say, well, my mama don't do sit downs and stuff like that. Something ain't right. So Dr. Nicole said, is there another dynamic? Like, what is happening? He said, well, my mom is close to my child's mother. And, I just don't want to come in between that. And my mom just feels like she doesn't want to betray her. Say, what now? Oh, okay. Baby, that would not go over well with me. If I cannot be around your family, then what are we really doing? Like, what's happening? And he was like, my mom and my child's mother, they're basically like BFFs. So his mom is never going to accept you, Shay, because she wants him to be with that ex. That's too messy for me. Because what about when y'all have kids? Like, I would not want to send my kids over to this lady so she can be mistreating them because the babies didn't come from the first baby's mother. Oh, absolutely not. She said, I was at home. This is what she's telling us in the confessional, y'all. Listen to this. She said she was at home and he told her that he was going out of town for work. Now, y'all know he worked with Rick Ross and whatnot. If you don't, then go ahead and Google it. She said then she sees him online on a family vacation with the mom and that ex, but not her. Baby. So not only did he lie, you treating her like a redheaded stepchild. Child, and they probably slept together too, allegedly. Hell no, it's over. Honey, I wouldn't even be on this show. I wouldn't even have nothing else to do with him. You gonna lie and go on a family vacation and leave me at home and lie and say you had to work? Girl, how could you go on with him after that? Oh, no. So Dr. Nicole said, how does that make you feel, Alfonso? He said, well, I don't see it as a problem with me. I must be zero tolerance because I would not be on this show trying to marry him. I would not. So Dr. Nicole said, relationship identity is everything. Like, who am I to you? Who do people see me as? Like, who are you to me? He said, we had an extravagant engagement party. So, I mean, that's telling everybody who she is. She said, yes, but it was nobody important. Like, your mom was not there. Oh, hell no. He's a mama's boy and he don't want to upset his mama, so he'll upset you instead, and that's going to continue throughout the duration of your relationship. He's never going to respect you, and his mama ain't going to respect you either. Child, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't still in the relationship with that ex, because why do you have to lie to go on a vacation with your mama and your child's mother? And why am I not invited? Child, there's so many questions. So Shay is looking at him because he's laughing, and she's like, that's not funny. So then she says, you know what? We don't need to be here. Dr. Nicole is like, well, just calm down. I got you. I'm listening to everything. And she said, no, we don't need to be here because he's sitting here laughing and ain't nothing funny. She said, you know what? I just need a break. So she gets up to walk off and we hear her crying in the restroom. And she said, until they get a handle on the relationship issues as it relates to his family, then it's a wrap. Honey, as it should be. Alfonso going on dates is pointless because nobody can take his children's mother's place. It is a waste at this point. But baby, then they show the trailer of the rest of the season. And that was the end of the episode. When I tell y'all this season looks like it's going to be on fire, I think this season gonna be good. I cannot wait to get into it as we get into it. Y'all tell me what y'all noticed with old Otis. Y'all tell me if Shorty getting on y'all nerves like she kind of getting on mine. Honey, I just want to know if we on the same page because y'all my people. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We are going to get together and have a live about Put a Ring on It. I'm not sure when, but as the season progresses, then we're going to make a date for a Put a Ring on It live, child. We're going to be living all day long. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.